Welcome to episode 359, Jim Chanos, 8 Lessons on Shorts. This is an outline of episode 359, lesson 1 to lesson 4. This is an outline of episode 359, lesson 5 to lesson 8. Lesson number 1, he's a multi-world record holder on shorts. These 4 are Jim Chanos' world record shorts: Baldwin United, Enron and the death of Arthur Anderson, shorting China, shorting Tesla. He has shorted more than 3,000 stocks in 33 years. This makes him the world's most famous short seller.
Of the investment world, right? So when I wake up in the morning and look at my screen at 5:30, 6 o'clock for the first time, we have 70 stocks we're short globally. A good 10 to 20% will have buy rating reaffirmed, new buy recommendation, earnings estimate raised 3% at Merrill Lynch.
Lesson number 2, he stumbled into the biggest fraud. He stumbled into founding his own firm, Kunikos. In one of his first jobs, he stumbled into Baldwin United, the largest collapse in U.S. stock history until then.
I got into it by accident. The first idea I looked at as a young analyst back in the early 80s turned out to be a gigantic fraud. And I had no predisposition to be looking on the short side fundamentally for ideas until after that all unraveled. It was a company called Baldwin United, the old Baldwin piano company out of Cincinnati, Ohio, that morphed into a giant financial services company that was playing major accounting games. And after that company collapsed, it was the largest corporate bankruptcy in U.S. history up until that time in 1982.
He stumbled into founding his hedge fund in 1985. He was unlucky, and he was extremely lucky. He was unlucky in that he was fired from his job. He was lucky in that his client had confidence in him and gave him $16 million, the seed investment to found his own hedge fund, Kunikos. Lesson number 3, his specialty is massive fraud. He only shorts the massive fraud. Lesson number 4, there is such a thing as a fraud cycle.
The course has been a lot of fun, but one of the things I teach is that the fraud cycle follows the financial cycle with a lag. So that as bull markets progress, people's sense of disbelief drops, and they get more and more willing to chase returns and chase too good to be true ideas. And most frauds at their core are Ponzi schemes in effect. And when the market turns down, people pull back, they pull their money in, they want redemptions, and that's when the Madoffs of the world and others, have problems.
Lesson number 5, he's a dropout self-made billionaire. In 2009, he earned $300 million. At his peak, his net worth was $1.5 billion.
Put that aside for a minute.
Let's talk Chanos.
I think Chanos. Look, I know Chanos for years. I respect him, but I've been on the other side of him many times, and I've made fortunes being against him. I mean, Chanos isn't. I don't say this in any derogatory way, but I don't see Chanos on the Forbes 400 list. So it doesn't. I don't mean that because I got great respect for Chanos.
Lesson number 6, single strategy, multi-year. His single strategy is easy to understand. His hedge fund, Kunikos, is the only hedge fund exclusively devoted to short selling. Multi-year here means he will short a stock for multiple years. Single strategy is unique among hedge funds. By the way, most hedge funds are multiple strategy, single year. Lesson number 7, lots of executives leaving is greatest red flag.
I looked at their filings, and the first thing I noticed was, number 1, all the executives were leaving. A huge number of senior executives had begun to depart in 99 and 2000. And that's always one of our greatest red flags. When you see wholesale executive departures at a company, hold on to your wallet. And we'll talk about a company where that's happening later.
Lesson number 8, his worst short, AOL. He shorted at $10, he covered at $80. Ouch.
So, I mean, we talked a little bit about some of your successes, just so that the audience doesn't think you're a fortune teller. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about some of your disasters?
Yeah.
And perhaps what were some of the most instructive or educational mistakes that you made?
So I had a shudder about a week ago when I saw going across the tape that AT&T was interested in Time Warner, because our biggest disaster ever was the shorting of America Online in the late 90s. We were short America Online at about $10 in late 1996. And these are all split adjusted numbers. And I think I covered my last share around 80. So that'll get your attention for a lot of reasons. Not least of which is the old, you can only make 100%. You can only make 100% on the short side, but you can have unlimited losses on the short side. And we were short America Online for accounting reasons that ended up being true, but ended up being irrelevant.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.